Previously on Cruise Control Thoughts, Gia finally pulled into the parking spot outside her house after another long shift. The last thing playing before she stepped out the car, It Ain't Over Till It's Over by Lenny Kravitz. And honestly, that felt symbolic, because now came the real work. Not the clock-in work, the life work, the figuring it out work, the surviving gracefully work. Let's join Gia now, with her morning already in progress. Morning came early, not because she had somewhere to be, but because bills don't care about your day off. Gia sat at the kitchen table surrounded by envelopes, account balances, due dates, overdraft anxiety, and silent calculator math. What could be paid? What could wait? What could stretch till Friday without snapping completely in half? A modern-day miracle performance right there at the kitchen table. And after staring long enough at numbers that refused to multiply like loaves and fishes, she finally leaned back and whispered, Jesus paid it all. 'Cause baby, I can't pay all of this right now. So before the errands, before the stores, before the heat, before the stress, there was prayer. Lord, protect my house in a world that feels like it's spinning too fast. Protect my family, my friends, those near and far. Keep us covered in grace when life feels loud and uncertain. Help us stay on the right path even when shortcuts and quick fixes look tempting. Because everything shiny ain't gold and everything easy definitely ain't safe. Correct my spirit before my mouth gets me out of alignment. Teach me to move and love even in a society that often feels cold and disconnected. Let us continue being lights to other people because kindness still matters. Compassion still matters. And even in hard times, let us never lose ourselves trying to survive them. I give you all these things and more, Lord. Amen. After prayer came motherhood. Gia got herself together and headed to take Elijah to work while the two of them discussed music, life, and the tragic mystery of how some artists can drop 3 whole albums with only 4 good songs total. Today's topic with my son, Drake. Elijah had opinions, strong ones. Meanwhile, outside, Philadelphia weather was performing another psychological experiment. One minute the sun felt 6 feet away from Earth, the next minute the wind hitting like September trying to sneak in early. Once Elijah got dropped off, the next mission began. Mommy mode level 2. Gia sat in the car and whispered to herself, how am I feeding this family with $24, faith, and glitter dust? She stared out the window. Because honestly, sometimes the car becomes a waiting room for your thoughts. The AC was blasting, the radio kept talking, the heat outside looked disrespectful, and Gia sat there pricing groceries in her head like she was preparing for the Hunger Games. Then came the prayer before entering the store. Lord, look, I got $24 on this card and faith on the other one. Please, let's make a miracle happen. And you know what? Somehow, the cart started filling. And it filled a little bit more, and it filled a little bit more. Gia being diligent, calculating every penny on her iPhone calculator. And at the end, her cart was complete. She left out of the grocery store, being able to feed the family for the next week and a half with 2 slabs of ribs, a family pack of chicken legs, colorful peppers, cucumbers, onions, cherry tomatoes, salad dressing, some drinks for work, all to go with some ingredients already waiting at home for her to make something bigger. Gia walked out grateful, not because it was luxury, but because it was enough. And sometimes enough is a blessing all by itself. By the time the car was loaded up and Gia was back in her AC blasting, she looked at the time. and realized there wasn't enough time to drive all the way home and then come back for her son. So she stayed in the neighborhood. More parking lot therapy, more writing, more sitting with thoughts. She talked to her aunt for a little while on the phone, then went and got gas. And standing there at the pump, watching the numbers climb, felt like watching your bank account get jumped in real time. Because deep down, she already knew, yeah, this gas is probably going to push me into overdraft. But still, the tank got filled. Because life don't stop needing things just because money gets tight. Somewhere between the grocery store mission, the overdraft gas pump trauma, and sitting in parking lots trying to mentally regroup, it happened. Philly Fit News. Because, baby, Philadelphia has officially entered Dress However Your Spirit Feels season. First sighting of the day, the Black Gilligan. This man was walking through Norristown carrying a whole TV stand under one arm, dressed like climate change itself. Let's review the fit. He had on cut-off blue Dockers, a marigold bubble goose vest, fishing hat, tube socks, skippies on his feet, and a heat index of approximately Satan. Sir, why are you dressed like a retired fisherman, somebody's auntie handyman, and an emergency snow advisory all at once? And the crazy part, he walked with confidence, like he knew that fit ate. No, not really. Meanwhile, not even 10 minutes later, here come Mary Lou strutting down past the gas station wearing what appeared to be men's boxer shorts, a tiny tank top, flip-flops hanging on by hope, and absolutely no ankle support. Them flip-flops wasn't walking. Them things was slapping concrete. Every step sounded like tap, 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 tap. Like, ma'am, your footwear sound exhausted. And then, ooh girl, then came the family shopping expedition from the Twilight Zone. This little girl looked adorable, though. She had on a sparkly fairy dress, a tiara, furry boots, and a little lunch bag swinging proudly beside her. She looked like she was heading to kindergarten, a royal coronation, and a TikTok get ready with me video simultaneously. Meanwhile, her mama beside her, pajama pants, oversized tee, full Ugg boots, and the expression of somebody who absolutely did not feel like coming out to this Target today. Now, ma'am, it's 97 degrees outside. Them Uggs got to be simmering. Feet in there cooking like crock pot chickens. But honestly, that's when Gia realized something important about Philly. People around here don't dress for weather. They dress for emotional preparedness, unexpected rain, possible snow, store temperature, and personal destiny. And somehow it all makes sense in a chaotic way because everybody out here is just trying to survive bills, heat, gas prices, responsibility, and whatever fresh nonsense life has emailed us overnight. So if somebody want to wear a bubble vest with cut-off shorts in a heat wave, at this point, who are we to judge? Eventually, Gia drove back to Elijah's job and waited. Now, usually, he waits for her after work, but today she happened to be early. So she texted him, "Soon as you get off, just come straight out. I'm already here." Big mistake, because somehow 6 o'clock, when he's supposed to get off work, turned into, "Can I leave early?" And then turned into, "I'll be out in 10 minutes. Next thing she knew, the boy appeared at the passage door faster than a drive-through order. Must have been a long shift, too, because the ride home was quiet. Just tired energy, hot weather, exhausted silence. The kind that says, "I survived today. Let me just sit down somewhere." Back home, everybody followed the sacred house rules. Relax. You're home now. Elijah disappeared upstairs to shower and decompress. Nova, the cat, came downstairs for greetings and inspections. Gia collapsed on the couch, turned on Martin, and landed on one of the greatest episodes ever created. You know the one. Gina getting her head stuck in the headboard. After laughing for a while, she wandered into the kitchen because somehow even exhaustion still whispers, "What we cooking?" So the ribs went on slow and tender. Corn salad got made. Egg rolls into the conversation for later on in the week. Content for her business, content for her life was made. And by 8:30 at night, it still felt like somebody left the earth preheating at 87 degrees. So eventually the final destination became to the penthouse, better known as the bedroom. Air conditioner on, body tired, mind still moving. Another day survived somewhere between faith, food, family, humor, and figuring it out one parking lot at a time. And honestly, that's what living between the lines really is.